everybody, and welcome to another craft tutorial. Before we get started, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification that will let you know when I post new videos or when I go live. In today's video, we're going to do some fun sublimation tie-dye. This is super trendy and really fun to do. All you'll need is a shirt, some butcher paper, sublimation designs, whether you print them or buy them from someone else, and you can make this really fun shirt. It's super easy to do, and look at how bright and fun the colors are. This is a great no-mess tie-dye situation, plus you can use patterns and lots of different colors to do this. It's really easy, so let's get started. For our sublimation tie-dye, we're going to start here with designbundles.net. I do have the Plus membership, and I'll do a video for you guys if you want where I talk about the different features of the Plus membership. But what I just did was I just searched the word T-I-E, tie, and I found these really fun tie-dye patterns. So there's a bunch of different styles that you can choose from. There's a lot of different options, but what you'll just look for is just a full sheet of tie-dye pattern, and it can be any pattern that you like. So you can kind of search through and see what you'll find. You'll find some other options too, as well as full designs and things like that, but you can really use any kind of design that you would like to use. So I'm going to go ahead, and I actually really kind of like these swirly ones, but I also am super in love with this one here, which is like a giraffe print one, which I thought was real fun. So we're going to do this one. So if you have a Plus account, all you have to do is click add to account and confirm, and then just click download now. We're going to use this right here, so we're going to click download now, and I keep stuff pretty organized, so I'm going to put it into my CRICUT folder and then down into my Sublimation Designs folder and click save. We are going to use this as a full sheet. We're going to actually print 2 of these so we can do them front and back. So what I'm going to do, open this up, and you'll see that you have this big sheet of pattern. So you can actually print this just directly from here, or you can print this using some other programs. So if I click print from here, we do need to kind of try to make it fill the whole page, which it should do on its own for the most part. Just depends on your printer and how it's set up, but mine will print the full page by itself. So we're going to use the ET4700, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on more settings, and I just want to make sure that the output quality is set to high, and I'm going to click OK. And OK again. For some reason, mine makes me click it twice. I really don't know why. But what you can do is just go ahead and click print from here. I'm going to print 2 copies of this onto my Haze sublimation paper, and then we're going to show you guys how to press this onto your shirt. Now that we have our sheets printed, you'll see that they do look pretty dull, but they won't be once you press them. Sublimation ink tends to look really dull on the paper, but once you heat it and it turns to the gas, it really brightens up. So we're going to do these really fun kind of giraffe tie-dye watercolor, I don't know what you call them, patterns. So the first thing that I've done is I cut a piece of butcher paper larger than my shirt, because we need to make sure that we cover the base of our press when we do this, because sometimes the paper will hang off your shirt a little bit. So I'm going to show you how to do this right here, but I actually do this while it's on my press. It's a little bit easier to move it that way. So all I'm going to do then is just take my shirt, and I'm just going to scrunch it up. You don't have to be too crazy, and you do kind of want some more flatter areas. So you don't want to have it scrunched really tight like this, because you're not going to get a lot of color on it. So I just scrunch it a little bit, and I try to make sure that it's the front part of the scrunch that's showing. So you don't want to have it folded over to the back, because we will do a press on the back as well. So I just sort of give it a light scrunch just to kind of break up where the color is going to be a little bit. And then you can lay your sheet down, and you can kind of scrunch your shirt a little bit more as you put your sheet on, and you can use multiple sheets if you'd like to. It's really up to you and how you want to do it. So if you wanted to do multiple pages, you can kind of unscrunch your shirt a little bit more and lay both sheets down if that was what you wanted to do. So it's really very much up to you and how you would like your shirt to look. I like to do a single sheet on the front and a single sheet on the back. So like I said, I just sort of scrunch it a little bit. I make sure that it fits within my sheet. I decide which way I want my sheet to go. I think that looks pretty good. And then I put it on my press. So I'm going to move you guys over to the press where we're going to show you guys how to press this. But another thing to note is you're going to want some butcher paper for the top of your shirt as well. This is actually the paper that came with my CRICUT infusible ink. So I'm just going to go ahead and use it up. I don't like this paper very much, so I'm just going to use it on this. So let's go ahead and get our heat press set. You want to set your heat press to about 395, and I usually do it for about 60 seconds, but it's going to depend on the shirt you're using as well as the paper as to what works best for you. So like I said, I moved it over to my heat press. Now I do have my butcher paper under my shirt just to be safe, and then we're going to put this butcher paper over our shirt again to be safe. I scrunched the shirt up, and then this is set to a pretty high pressure. So what you're going to want to do is actually turn your pressure down just a little bit because this is thick because you've got it scrunched up. Now you could use heat tape to hold your paper down if you'd like to. I don't find that I ever really need to. It doesn't tend to move. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just press this for the 60 seconds. I tend to pull mine before it beeps, just so that it's not super loud. My pets don't really like the beeping noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this butcher paper off. That is hot. And then we will go ahead and pull this paper off. This is going to be pretty warm. So you'll see that you have this cool design on your shirt. Now, what I'm going to do is flip this over so that it is onto the back of our shirt as well. Now, be warned, this is warm, so you may want to give it a few moments to cool down. It's really up to you. I tend to just go for it and flip it. And then you can re-scrunch your shirt. Now, you'll see that you do have a little bit of bleed through where like the shirt is thinner. So like I got some on this part where it's actually like the inside of the shirt, but it's really fine. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and re-scrunch a little bit. I'm going to try to tuck this part up and under a little bit so that it doesn't get any more dye on it. And then you can place your second piece of paper. And again, I try to make sure that I have shirt under pretty much the whole paper so that it really gets a lot of the design on it. So I think that looks pretty good. So again, I'm going to use the same butcher paper that I used before because it didn't get any of the design on it. So I'm not worried about it transferring. Covering that, and then we're going to press it again for 60 seconds. Now that that side is done, go ahead and pull the butcher paper off again, set that to the side, and we can remove this sheet. Now I am going to let this cool for just a few minutes before I pull it off and show you guys what it ended up looking like, but it is pretty warm when you first take it off. Now something else to keep in mind is sometimes you'll get a little bit of transfer from the back onto this piece of parchment paper, so I would recommend just tossing the bottom piece that you used just to be safe so that color doesn't transfer to your next item. Now that we've pressed the fun tie-dye look on it, I'm going to add a little design to mine just for fun. So you can do that if you want to, you don't have to. So what I do is I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half. And I'm just going to crease it up at the top just so I know where center is so that I can center it with the V-neck here. That looks pretty centered. And then because it's a V, I want to put it a little bit closer to the top. So I want to put it at about 2 fingers below the V. And just make sure it looks pretty straight. And then I use heat tape for this part because we don't want our design to move. So I'm just using some Caesar heat tape. I got this from 143 Vinyl. You can get this for 5% off if you use code Corinne. This is a really nice heat tape. I like it. It's a little bit wider than some of the others that I've tried. So all I'm going to do is tape down my corners. All I did to make the design that we're putting on here was I made a little Mickey head, and then I just added the words using the Waltograph font from DeFont, and then I printed from Inkscape. So I have videos to show you guys how to use Inkscape to make your own patterns, but it's really simple, really easy to do, really fun. So again, we're going to need butcher paper. We're going to put butcher paper over our design and under our shirt, so you want to put one inside. So I'm going to use another sheet that I got from my infusible ink set because I have a bunch that I just never used because they're a little bit thin and I don't love them. But what you're going to do, and what I do, is I fold it kind of in half, and then I got to slide it inside the shirt so that it doesn't bleed through to the other side because we don't want to have the Mickey like backwards, like the words on the shirt in the back. So you want to make sure that you cover under where your design is whenever you do and infusible ink or a sublimation design on a shirt because it can bleed through. So that looks good. It's covered under there. I'm going to take 2 more sheets, put them on top, and then I have a sheet of butcher paper underneath to cover any of this stuff from getting out. I'm going to use a bigger piece of butcher paper, I think, actually. On this, I'm going to cut one off my roll. That way I can make sure that I cover this entire design because I don't want any of the ink to transfer, just to be safe. It's just a safety thing, just to make sure nothing transfers over. But I'm going to go ahead and move this back over to the press so we can get started. I've moved our shirt back to our heat press, and like I said, I've got this big piece of butcher paper that I'm going to put over my entire shirt just to be safe, to keep any of the ink from transferring anywhere it shouldn't. Now that the heat press is ready, we're just going to go ahead and press this again, just like we did for the tie-dye. Only in this case, we don't have the shirt scrunched, but we are adding that second design just so that our shirt has like a really cool look to it. So I'm going to let this press, and then we can pull the press up, take everything off, and then I'll show you what the shirt looks like. I don't know how well you guys can see, but there is some printing on to our butcher paper. So that is why you put that piece of butcher paper down over your shirt to prevent any of like this ink from sticking to your heat press. You definitely don't want this kind of stuff on your heat press. So we'll go ahead and let the shirt cool, and I'll show you what it looks like. And here is our finished shirt. I wanted to make sure that you guys could really see how bright this was, so I took it outside for you. Now, you'll notice that it does look wrinkled from us scrunching it and pressing it, but you can just wash this shirt like normal, and that will get the wrinkles out for you. So I would definitely like wash this before wearing, just to get all those wrinkles out. But you can see how bright everything looks. The Disney thing that I did, the little Take Me to Disney, came out gorgeous. You can see how dark that is. Now, this is a 100% polyester shirt from CRICUT. So the colors are going to be a lot brighter using a 100% polyester shirt. So when doing this, you want to just take that into account. The higher the polyester count, the brighter your colors will be. If you guys have any questions about this or anything related to crafting, feel free to leave those in the comments down below or reach out to me on any of my social media platforms. I hope you guys had fun checking out this really cool way to do tie-dye using sublimation. It's fun and really super not messy. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy crafting.